Hello and welcome back to episode 5 of Long COVID Real Talk. I am Catherine Marie, and for this episode, I wanted to do two things. First, go over mantras that you can use when you start to feel not so great, and some more helpful self-talk by changing what kind of pops in your head that you kind of beat yourself up with all the time, and then what you could say instead. And when I talk about this, I mean having the things that you tell yourself in your head, writing them down, and then actively saying, no, this is not true, and like writing why. And the reason for that is I think it helps process out the negative stuff and gives you something to read so you don't have to think about it and fight it all the time in your mind, especially when you're not feeling well because you don't have a lot of energy for that. So this is a way to prepare for any time that you might not be feeling that well so that you can help yourself feel better faster and not let any mental health stuff that would pull you down make your flare-up worse. So first, let's go through just a few examples of the unhelpful self-talk that I have, and then what I wrote as the healthy self-talk. Before I do this, though, I want to say that these things are part of a treatment plan where I went for extra help for mental health. So I really recommend doing that if it would be helpful to you. The other thing is that I would really love to hear from you if you are listening to this as to what you do, what you tell yourself, different mantras or meditations or whatever self-talk, whatever you do that is helpful to get you through a darker time. I would really love to hear it. And while we're on that subject, because I keep forgetting to mention it, please let me know, give me feedback, what you like about episodes and what you don't like, what you want to be listening to in the future. I also would especially like if you send me things that you already do, or even your story, and I can read it, or at least part of it, read it on the episodes, because there's only so much that I can talk about myself, right? So we have the whole point of this is to bring everybody in and listen to each other's stories and learn from each other. So, okay. Oh, and so the email is, sorry, I got distracted. So the email is longcovidrealtalk@gmail.com. It's basically for the podcast name, it's, anchor.fm/longcovidrealtalk. So I just made longcovidrealtalk@gmail.com the email. So feel free to reach out to me on that, or on the podcast, however you can do it through podcasts. I'm still learning how to do all of this, by the way, so sorry if I don't see things right away. Also, please remember that I do have long COVID, so there are times where I'm out of commission for quite a while sometimes, and I promise I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Okay, so without further ado, let's go into the unhelpful self-talk. Okay, so an example of the type of things that I would say to myself that I would like to change. I am a freeloader. And the healthy self-talk would be, I'm not a freeloader. I've worked hard my whole life to the point where my body does not work anymore. The most important thing I need to do right now is rest, heal, and recover. The second thing that I wrote is, I'm lazy, because that's one of my greatest fears. And the healthy self-talk is, failure to sufficiently rest due to the fear of being thought of as lazy has led to unintentional self-harm and physical illness. Stop, rest, pace. If you have long COVID, you probably have already heard of the concept of the spoon theory, which I believe was originally made to describe for people with chronic fatigue how to get through each day, that you have a certain number of spoons of energy per day, and it's a lot less than most people, so you have to use them very wisely. And the stop, rest, pace is a mantra that I remember. I've been reading a lot of different long COVID books, and it's mentioned numerous times, even in articles and everything, and I'm sure you've already heard that as well. But I've been trying to write it different places because I frequently forget, especially the pace part. Usually as soon as I start to feel better, I just go like, oh, okay, let's go. Let's do all the things. And then I fall on my face and I'm like, oh, why did I do that? Okay, the next little phrase, words that I would like to change. I'm making this up. I'm imagining it. I'm being a drama queen. The healthy self-talk that goes along with that is, long COVID is a well-documented phenomenon, and anyone who has tried to stay informed understands that this is not my choice and not in my control. The fourth phrase is, I'm selfish, and the response to that is, I became very sick by worrying about being selfish and lazy. These are not the truth. Radical self-compassion, acceptance, and loving kindness is indicated, not misguided attempts at tough self-love. And finally, my last thing on my page here says, I'm an idiot to think I had it all under control. And the response is, it is very common for patients with long COVID to experience significant fluctuations in symptoms, and symptoms coming and going constantly. Learn from your mistakes, don't be mean to yourself, and accept that you are doing your best. And long COVID is not within your control. A flare-up does not mean that you have failed or are never going to get better. And that is something that my sibling who has long COVID had told me, that she said, Kath, this is not a moral failing. And that, for some reason, that was a breakthrough moment for me. So I want to hear all of your unhealthy self-talk and then what you say instead. And then I wanted to read some of the mantras, sayings, meditations, prayers, beautiful thoughts, things that help me. The one that is my favorite, that encompasses how I feel about long COVID and kind of helps ground me, is, I can be present in my new reality. Some others are, I can handle whatever happens. Do everything you can today to improve the chance of a better tomorrow. The past is history, the future is mystery, the present is a gift. That's why it's called the present. And one of my favorites is, everything will be all right in the end. If it's not all right, then it's not the end. And I don't remember what movie that's from, but it was from a trailer for a movie, and I thought it was awesome. So that is all I have for today, and please reach out to me with all the stuff that helps you, because I want to make sure that this is kind of a dialogue. And if it's okay, if you leave me a message or email or whatever, please let me know if it's okay if I read it in future episodes to share with other people. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks for listening. Have a good one.